This is a sample index of auto-indexing for depositions. And the first thing I'd like you to do is, if you haven't already, is go to your Help, Exceptional Extras, and restore all those zip files. So when you restore the extras, there's several files in there, and one of them are the indexes that I want to use. So after you do that, you go into your system files and your index templates, you'll see sample court and sample Depo index. And this is the one we're going to use. And you see what it looks like. When you reveal code, you'll see this heading on A, that is the upper box, and index on A is the lower box. These will be important. It's kind of like theory. It makes sense later. And this is index heading on B, and this is index on. The page number will be generated automatically. This template also handles other information, and I'll show you how to do that in another video. I try to keep them short as possible so that it's not too ad nauseum. So if you shut the file, and I have made a sample file. The other thing I've done is I use templates for my title pages, and at the end of my title pages, each one I have already an index position symbol inserted. And what that does is then when I include them into a transcript, it tells Catalyst where to insert the table. If you don't, it automatically generates at the very last page of your transcript. So it's as simple as edit, insert, format symbol, and then go down to index position and double click it and it'll insert a symbol for you. So I've already included the title page at the front of my transcript, and if you'll put your cursor there, you see that the index position symbol is there. And the first thing we're going to do is index heading on A was the very first table that we wanted to use. So we're going to edit, insert a symbol. We're going to insert index heading on. And then you can't see it, but I'm going to shift and have a capital A at the lower left. You can see it says enter A through Z or 0 through 9. And I've held my key too long, so hopefully that'll still. Okay, and when you reveal code, you'll see I turned the heading on and turned the heading off by doing that. The other thing we're going to do is highlight the questioner, and they were just index on. So it's edit, insert, format symbol, index, and this one is just index on, and it's another A. And when you reveal code, you'll see we turned it on and turned it off. And what you do is anything between the two is what's included in the table that we're creating. And so we'll quickly do that for the next one. So I'm highlighting again, and go edit, insert, format symbol, A. And so you get index on A and index off A. There are multiple ways to do this, and normally I wouldn't do, I kind of consider that the long way. I would just highlight it all, hit F4, capital J, or capital I, and an A, and that does the same thing without as many steps. The other thing you can do is you can build these into your dictionary, so you don't have to do this part every time, just simply the witness, and you can still build that in too. The other part we're going to address are the exhibits. And so if I go back here, we marked an exhibit, but we talked about it down here. So it's edit, insert, make exhibit entries at the bottom. This is exhibit number 1. And remember that lower table, it was a B. We're using heading because that generates that lets us place the exhibit number in there. And we're using the index because that's where we get to put in our description, because I want to add a description, and it is a photograph. And we'll quickly move to the next one and do the same thing. So no matter where if they marked all of them at the beginning but didn't talk about them until the middle of the transcript, this way you only mark them where they're actually talked about. So it's edit, insert, make exhibit entries. This was exhibit number 2. It is in the same table as a B. We need the index and the heading, which those buttons will remain the same from here on out until I change and use a different template. Okay. And the next thing we do is from anywhere within the transcript you can build it, but I went back to the top, so we're going to Tools, Index, Build. If it's not chosen because you haven't done it before, choose the Depo one. That's the one we're using this for because that's very specific what we did for this template. Hit OK. Because I didn't use the bottom 2 tables that I told you we'd talk about later, I'm going to get a report that tells me those are empty, and I don't need to look at those. And here we have our index all built. It's that easy. Now the template did come with these items here, all capped. I went in and changed that to initial cell cap only so that we didn't have all this information capped all the way through here. And that's how to use Stenograph's basic Depo template.